Hi, I'm Katie. I am the shelter manager. Today we are going to learn how to properly walk a dog and get them out of the kennel. So just to go over a couple of things before we even start, I wanted just to express the different types of collars. So sometimes dogs will come in and will have a normal flat collar on them, and sometimes dogs will come in and will put a martingale. So a martingale looks like this. So it has two different little loops. The bigger one is what goes around the dog's head, and it tightens when you pull so that a dog cannot slip out of it. With these, if a dog backs up, there's nothing controlling it, so it'll just come right off with the leash and the dog will be loose. So these are the two different types of collars, and each collar is going to kind of indicate what leash you're using. So these...
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
Go for it.
It's already. So, and you said this a staff member will decide which collar the dog gets if it's a collar going on the dog.
Yeah, so sometimes we have extra martingales, so we'll just throw it on the dog, especially if they go to an adoption event or whatnot. They'll already have these on. It's always nice for dogs to have collars on, especially if they're playing in the yard. If something happens, or you need, just quick access really quick, we'll put just like regular collars on them, but it definitely depends whatever staff member does and what, leash you're going to be using with that collar. With that being said, when we adopt out any dog, they go home with a clean martingale collar and a matching leash, and those are actually all right here. So if you're volunteering and walking dogs, you're not going to use any of these. These are just for when our dogs go home with their adopters. So you will not be, these are all off limits for just like walking dogs here for volunteering. In front of each kennel, there's going to be these little baskets. So this is what kind of holds the, leashes for each dog. So the first leash is a slip lead. So this is what a slip lead looks like, and what this does is it opens up and you can put the dog's head right through the slip lead, and there's a little stopper here so you can make sure that it'll stop the leash from like loosening and tightening. You want to make sure that it's snug around the dog's neck, but you don't want to make sure it's not too tight where it chokes them or too loose where they could easily get out of it.
So kind of like the martingale, like you always make sure at least you can fit two fingers between the collar and the dog.
Exactly.
So same as the...
Exactly. So if a dog comes in that just has this normal collar on, you're going to want to use the slip lead because they can easily slip out of this. So you'll just use the slip lead with their regular collar on. If a dog is wearing a martingale, you can also use the slip lead, or if there's just a clip leash, you can just clip this right onto the martingale and you can use this. If a dog has like just a martingale and just this leash in there, that's completely fine to use. You don't always need to use a slip lead, but again, when in doubt, just grab the slip lead. It just makes more sense. That way, if you have any questions or concerns, you just know that you're always doing right with the slip lead. But everything will be in this basket that is right in front of the dog's kennels. So before we even think about going into the kennels, we want to make sure that we grab a couple of very important tools. So you always want to make sure that you have a walkie-talkie on you, and that a staff member also has one. So that way, if anything happens, if you need help outside, you can just use the talkie and ask for help. You can find these right down the hall past the bathrooms. It's right where you sign in, your sign-in sheet for volunteers. So they're all there charging. And when you turn it on,
channel 21, battery high.
That's what it'll say. So it's always on channel 21, and you just want to keep
And
this
how do you
with
turn it on?
There's just a little button right here that you just hold down.
Right on the top?
Yep,
Okay.
and then when you talk into it, you just hold this down, and that's you talk into it and then be done. But just always make sure that you have one of these just for safety reasons. Another really important thing that we want to make sure that we have is our treat bags. So these are little treat bags. We have a bunch of them. We have all different kinds of them. We have ones that wrap around your waist. We have ones that just clip onto your sweatshirt or your pants. These are super important and everybody should have them because we're an animal shelter. We're always positive reinforcement, so we always have treats on us so that we can, work with the dog as they're walking, and also if they're seeing another dog, it's just always nice to have a positive reward. So you want to make sure that you always have a little baggie of treats. And then I also in here have some poop bags. If you don't have any poop bags in here, we do have a little green container right outside the front door, right on the wall, you can't miss it, that has a bunch of poop bags all the time in it. So grab a couple of those. The biggest thing about these is just making sure that you always have a full treat container. So you can actually find those in this cabinet. I can get it open. This cabinet has a bunch of treats, a bunch of treat bags, everything that you need so that you can just come and you can adjust it to your waist, and you can use little clip-on ones, whatever works best for you, as long as you have it and you have treats. So these are the main important things that we really need before taking any dog out of the kennel. And yeah, anything else? I think that's it for now. Okay, so now that I have all my tools and supplies, we're gonna go in and we're gonna get a dog. A couple of tips before that is just making sure that we are getting the dogs out of the kennel safely. So a couple of different tips that we're going to use is when you open the kennel door, you want to make sure that your foot is kind of right in the front, in between the opening of the kennel door, because you don't want just to open it and then have a dog sprint out and you're chasing it around the room. So try to put your, dog's coming through. So another tip that we have for all of our dog walkers is we really want to make sure that you're not fully going in the kennel yourself. That is the dog's safe place. And it's just not safe if anything ever was to happen and you're stuck in the kennel. So you want to make sure that they come out to you and you put the slip lead on and you just go. You just have to keep walking and they will follow. So now we're going to go get one of our dogs, Lexi, out from our kennel so you can see how it's done. So there's a couple of different things that you can do when you're walking your dog. You can take them for an actual walk. So there's a gate at the end of the driveway that you can walk to, and then you're going to walk back, and that is considered one full walk for a dog during your shift. We also do have a little path through the side of the woods that is on the side of the driveway. You're more than welcome to use that as well. We also have another option is our turf play yard that is all fenced in. So I will show you that area with Lexi.
Hopefully she doesn't think she's running around.
So this play yard has technically 3 doors, but there's 2 entrances. So you're gonna walk through the first door, and there's just this little section. And then what we like to do is make sure that that door is shut. You also want to look over there, because a main thing that you want to check to make sure is that there's another gate over there. You want to make sure that that is completely latched. So sometimes we put these hooks on it if we have crazy dogs that are trying to escape.
What, like huskies?
Like the huskies. This is what the latch looks like. So you just want to make sure that it's fully down before letting the dog in, and also when the dog is in and running around. So a lot of times what people will do is you'll bring him into this little section, make sure all doors are completely closed, and then you can let them go run.
She's gone.
Even though she was literally just outside. And you can hold on to the leashes if you want. You can have them just hang over the side right here. We have lots of toys in this corner that you can play with. In this turf yard, you still want to make sure that you are picking up the poop, and you can spray it down with the hose that we have here.
Where's the hose?
It is right over here.
Hi, Lexi. Okay, so the hose is over here. So after the dog pees or poops, or just poops? Like when do you?
It's usually just poop. The way that this turf is set up is that everything goes, it absorbs everything. So it never really stays at the surface like any water or pee. But obviously with poop, it's hard, and you need to make sure that it's all picked up, especially if dogs have loose poop. You want to make sure that you're picking that up and then spraying it down so that there aren't like just leftover poop stains all over the yard, because that's gross.
Do you use just the hose, or do you use a cleaning solution also, or just the hose?
So we just use the hose. Before, like if we have any events, the staff will take care of that. But just the hose to spray it down, make sure that it's not all stuck to the turf. Those are the most important things. We do have these little kiddie pools that the dogs will love to run in, and the agility equipment.
So cute.
He's having fun. But now we will show you where to bring the dog back in.
Hi, Lex.
No matter where you walk, whether it's going up and down the driveway or in the yard, you're always going to use the same door to come back into. So we will grab her.
We'll see. We'll
Grab
see.
her. Hi, Lex. Hi. Lexi.
And this is a good reason to have treats.
Oh, yeah, because some dogs will think it's a game. Good deal. Like Lexi.
Good job, Lexi.
Good job. All right, you ready? Let's go. Okay.
Good shake. Good shake, Lexi.
So now we'll open up this gate. We'll come right out. And then when you're leaving, just make sure that the gate's always shut.
And I see that there's clips on this side too.
Yep, so we do
That's
have
good.
clips everywhere. If you do want to, if you do have like a crazy dog, like right now we have 2 huskies, you can clip it right there, just so that if they jump up and they try to do that, they're out.
So it's a good practice either way.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yep. So this is the door that you're gonna use coming into the shelter all the time. The front door is locked, only staff has keys. So if you are a volunteer, you're never gonna be able to walk into the front door. So this is the door around back that leads into our garage. And it's always open during the day. So during your shift, this door will always be unlocked. So this is the door that you wanna utilize. For our dog adoption, we also have this door over here. This door leads right into the dog adoption room, which is where Lexi is. So you can go into that door as well. The door is locked, so you just want to ask a staff member to unlock it and make sure that it's fully closed. If it's left open and somehow a dog gets out, they can easily run around and escape. So just have a staff member unlock it for you and make sure that you're closing it when you're leaving or going in. So some of our dogs, like little Lexi, can be a little bit difficult bringing into the kennels, whether or not they don't want to go or they can just be really jumpy. If you ever have any issues, any questions, or you just aren't comfortable, please ask a staff member. We're always here to help. We handle the dogs daily, so if there are any issues, we would be more than happy to help you. Bringing them in, taking them out, or even just putting their leashes on if they are a little bit crazy. Lexi is awesome to come out of the kennel. She's a really good girl, but putting her in, she does stop a lot, so you kind of have to lure her in there. In this case, Lexi's very comfortable being picked up, so I will pick her up, but that is not the case for all dogs. Your first instinct should not be to pick them up. You can always ask a staff member if you do get stuck, and we can help you. So we're gonna go bring Lexi in, and I'll show you the correct way to bring her in. It's a little bit like a horse. You want to bring them into their stall and turn them around so that you can take off their leash and go from there. But we will bring Lexi in. You ready? You also want to make sure that you have like a very short leash. You don't want this to be nice and long walking in so that you can go see all the other dogs. It's just whether or not they're dog friendly or not, it's stressful for dogs in the kennel that want to either come say hi or don't like other dogs. Either way, it's very stressful. So you want to make sure that you have a nice tight, not tight, but it's very short leash. That way,
Like about a foot.
yeah,
Like a
that way
traffic
she doesn't
leash.
have to. We can just walk right in and it can be as smooth and easy as possible. So I'm gonna now walk in. and then you're all set.